How's it going, Lisa Bruce? Up, I'm Sixkilla, and welcome back to Birth Me Code. Now we've got ourselves a puzzle room to deal with, a bar by the look of it, which is an interesting thing to find in a school, but I'm sure we'll figure it out. Let's just start clicking around on stuff. Let not your nubile digits dirty an iota of the contained refreshments disseminated across these sacred grounds. I'll touch the bottles if I want, you can't stop me. Cease, or there will be dire consequences. In defiance of Gula's demand, Ankura grabbed a nearby wine bottle. A long inhale escaped from the cow-themed girl's helmet, which had its sides held by the girl's hands in her state of utter horror. Sacrilegious! Heathen! Your spirit shall burn everlasting in the twisting abyss for this trespassing. Calm down, it's not even alcohol. This bottle just has water in it. At any rate, the only finding here currently worth noting is the luck upon the upper area of the front of this beverage's laden surface. My investigation within these premises has not reached its conclusion just yet. Pray return at a later point. Okay. What's this a poster of? It's like a giant eye, but there's nothing written on it. It's kind of creepy, honestly. I'm not any more certain than you on this one, I'm afraid. Unfortunately, and as you may have surmised, I very only seldom attend such shows. A show? So you do know more about it? I guess nothing more. I believe I may have heard of it. It is an illusionist, yet the name eludes me. I very much doubt it bears any impact on our findings within this enclosed environment. Sure. Press shift to show highlights, okay. We can't change the camera angle here. Yet. This couch looks pretty damn comfortable. I'd say its comfort level was perhaps 5? Well, out of 10? What's the comfort level got to do with anything? The comfort level is supremely important. Say, when you go buy a couch, you want it to be really comfortable, so you'll test it out. At least, that's what I've been told by a man who looked like he worked in a circus. What? But you didn't even sit on this one. And then after you sit on it, like this. Avarisha sat on the couch. She shifted side to side a little, clearly distraught about something. Wait a minute. This isn't a couch. She stood back up and reached for the armrest. After grabbing it, she lifted the side of the couch like it was nothing. It's a fake. It's made of plastic. It just looks good. Something fell out when you lifted it. It was a piece of paper. It says, Bill Quill Vril Trill. I guess we put that aside. It was added to the rest of the inventory. I haven't got any other inventory yet. I didn't find anything good in the bookshelves within my first room, but maybe this time it'll be different. After a few seconds it was clear she wouldn't find anything new in there. It didn't help that she couldn't reach the higher shelf either. How much longer do I have to endure this? I don't know. Talking to yourself? Oh, no, not really. Sorry. There's nothing in the bookshelves. Are you sure, or are you simply too short to reach the higher ledges? She gave a cursory look over it, and then she grabbed something out from behind a few books. Always make sure you comb it entirely, and ask for help if you can't reach. Ankura ignored that for the most part, and instead focused on the object. It's a box with coloured faces. 6 faces, and they all have a lock in them. I guess we have to find 6 keys for it. That's a lot. But it seems to contain a bunch of things too. So I think what's in here might be our key out of here. Shaking it a little, she nodded. Meanwhile, Ankura was wishing the first vote would have gotten her after that awful pun. I think there's one of those ornate keys in here, and a few me cards too, judging by the noise. Either that, or other stuff. It all looks really solid, so I don't think we can break it. Sounds good to me. I guess we found what we're looking for now. 6 keys? Why the number 6 again? Why not? Not another bin. At least beer isn't here this time. Pray explain yourself. Oh, nothing, just... She blew a fuss about having to search that. I'm not squeamish about getting my hands dirty. She gave a wave in the air as if dismissing the thought of that girl. She laboriously investigated the contents of the bin to no avail. And there wasn't anything inside at all. Why'd she get mad again? Oh, it was because of video, I think. It's been so long, it feels like a lifetime ago by now, even if it's really just been a few hours. Wait, one singular second. The girl lifted the bin, and underneath was a purple key. She swiped it with energy. Aha! My unmatched sense of observation told me there might be something hitherto undiscovered, aside to our exploration underneath it. Oh, that's good. Gula put the key on the table, leaving it for the others to decide what to do with it. I mean, we could stick it in the thing, right? Can we change angles? I assume we can't yet. What's this door got? Open sesame. Actually, the quote goes, sesame. Isn't it a misheard speech kind of deal and it just says me? No, it comes from French and sesame is a name or something like that. It doesn't matter anyway. Let's open this door and see what's beyond. With a satisfying click, the lock came undone with a perfect fit by the purple key, and Cora threw it behind her without a second thought. Hey, what if we need this again? Avarisha, why would one key open 2 locks? That's silly, come now. Then we can just get it again. The group entered this new room, which was a hallway. It led to another door, this time without a lock to undo, and inside was... crap. Loads of crap. A warehouse. Another place with alcohol. Avarisha and Gula were already searching through the alleys, following Ankora's words. The latter of the duo was extremely interested by the boxes full of bottles. She's probably going to sneak out a few of those bottles. Well, she's going to be surprised when she tries drinking some of them, then. They're all empty. Nice little trick. What is that? Oh, it's a valve. I'm not tall enough to reach out on my own. We'd need something like a ladder. Or a step ladder at least. Exactly. There's a ladder. Is that what I think it is? It is precisely one ladder, yes. A plethora of proverbial doors are now open to us. Probably the most useful thing we could find here. Other than the answer to me's question, at least. I'll carry it over if needed. No, I can reach this, so I'll do it. If you insist. It is quite a great aid to your height. The ladder was added to the inventory. Kind of. Those sure are a lot of boxes. What do you think they contain? I'm not sure. Normally this is what you call a cellarage. It contains wine bottles, and it's generally refrigerated, due to the temperature the bottles must be kept at. But it's not any colder here. Correct, it's not any colder. I'm not exactly sure why. It also does not look like an actual wine cellarage anymore, or perhaps it was never meant to do so. Well, let's open one of these boxes. Try as she might, Ankora was unable to open them. No matter which one she tried to tug open, they were all heavily sealed. Should you lift one? It is quite clear they contain glass-made containers. Wine bottles, to be precise. It does make me ponder upon the absence of a frigid temperature. While holding a box in her hands, Gula took a step back, looking down to the ground. Within the folded opening panel of this cardboard-made contraption was a metallic object. The group took it. It was a golden key. Is that a yellow key? No, it looks golden. Not exactly yellow. Maybe you can pass for one. Let's keep it in mind and search more of these boxes. Yet nothing else turned up in this section. There's plenty more to look at. I can't reach this shelf. Very well, it shall be my task. Gula proceeded to pluck at the items on the shelf, bringing them one by one down to Ankora. In the lot were a tape measure, an empty cardboard box, a few bottles, a roll of aluminum, or aluminium, whatever you prefer. Nary a useful object here. I guess it was still worth it to check. Looking at more boxes, huh? I gotta double check everything to make sure we didn't forget anything. Shortly after, Ankora exclaimed in surprise when she found something between 2 boxes. Look, it's a green key. I knew there was something in there. So does Pandora expect us all to search every single box here? That's kind of a little much. Well, I guess we have a fair amount of time left anyway. Without too much of a fuss, Avarisha searched through the area while accompanied of Ankora, but the two of them didn't find anything else worthwhile in this stack. Next one. Rejoice! I've unveiled the presence of a locked box here. Gula omitted the part where she'd been pointlessly examining the bottles on the ground, given that they were all empty, or that she seemed rather sad at that fact. She an alcoholic. The lock is golden. Thankfully, we found a key just for this. After fiddling with the lock a little, the box unlocked, and then it could be moved, which Gula took advantage of by taking it off the shelves. Inside were a few wine bottles, and near the bottom was a key. It was a yellow key. The contrast with the golden key was clear. And now our spoils. She uncorked one of the bottles, but it was quickly became apparent that what was inside the bottle was not wine. In fact, the bottle had already been opened before. What is all this? And Kura examined it a little more closely. Seems like drugs. The trio watched in light surprise as they all realized that fact. The box was then subsequently closed and put back where it had been. I mean, wine isn't that far from drugs, is it? It's still a substance that affects your body. Perhaps, but the drugs contained in these bottles, that's a lot. Can you imagine if all the bottles here had drugs in them? Do you even know how expensive this room is? Expensive, huh? How do you know all this is worth a lot? Oh, come on. It's no rocket science. Drugs can go for a lot. That's not a secret. If every bottle here was full of drugs, then we're witnessing a stashed, hidden, illegal fortune full of nothing but gratuitous larceny. After a few seconds to take it all in, the group went back to their search. Okay. There's a piece of paper alongside the fire extinguisher. I could almost see what's written on it. And Cora banged on it a few times on the window to try and get it to move around. What in the world is this insane cacophony? Can't you simply open the extinguisher's containment area? No, it's locked. Must I accomplish everything? Gula grabbed a nearby crowbar and smashed it into the window of the fire extinguisher. Unfortunately, it soon became apparent it wasn't a real window. It was just a 3D object pushed into the wall that looked like a fire extinguisher case. Now that it was dislodged, Ankura could pull it out. This is one of the weirdest things I've ever seen. It's just a solid block of plastic and metal, and what's inside isn't even real either. The same can be said for this tool as well. It is absolutely insubstantial. Behind this block is written, "In case d'urgence, boisa la vitre." I happen to be knowledgeable of French, and that sentence is mistaken on a grammatical level. Or perhaps it is simply an error in typography. Boisia should be brizzer. So it's important then. Oh. She pulled out something from the rectangular hole left behind. And we have an orange key here too. She put the block back where it was, reminding herself about this Boisia business. The key went with their stuff. We can do this now we got a ladder, right? It's kinda high, but here, there's the ladder. A real ladder too, not just a step ladder. Does she understand me? Reaching to the wheel after climbing the ladder, Avarisha turned it, only to pull it on too hard. It broke, and it took a few seconds for Avarisha to regain her foothold on the ladder. Ankura moved forward as if to help, but the woman dismissively waved, already coming back down with the prize. Well, I guess that's that. Now we have a wheel. Isn't that dangerous? Leaving that socket empty of the wheel? Dunno. But this wheel actually has markings on the outside. It says, "Jest over linguist ingrate." I can't make heads or tails of what it means. Oh well. Let's bring it with the rest of our stuff. Anyway, it's clearly a hint. I think we're done in this room then. I think. Let's head back. See if we can go through this door. That's the door we just came in from earlier. Okay, quite astute. I'm glad you joined our team. This comment saved us whole minutes of search. Oh, don't be like that. There's no purpose to check the door at any rate. Let us supply ourselves with the vast loot this room contains, rather than wasting our short allotted time like this. Sorry about it, God. Check everything we have. The letter K is burned out of luck. What else have we got? Bill, Quill, Vril, Trill. And we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 keys. We're just missing one key, right? Alright, what can we search now? Oh, we didn't check this. That looks way too high for us to be able to reach it. We got the ladder. Think there's anything out there that we need to get? I don't think so, but even I can't reach it, unless we use something else to get up there. After a few attempts, Avarisha managed to sort of rearrange the furniture in order to reach it. With her hands up there, she shook her head. I can't actually reach most of the fan from this angle, but maybe... She gave a strong push on one of the blades, sending the whole thing spinning. A thunk echoed from the side. Ouch! Something collided with my cranial armor. It must have fallen off while you both were toying with the ceiling fan. Gula exposed the object to the two other girls by lobbing it back at them in a quiet show of fury. Avarisha caught it, showing it to Ankora momentarily. More keys. I'm already getting sick of them. Either way, that's one more we have now. That's 6, right? Have you found anything here yet? It happens that I have. Upon its presentation, however, you must promise to take no duplicitous action, such as wordlessly take possession of it. I promise. Gula produced a key out of nowhere. It was red. Its location was... Hey! Release my quarry this instant. Sorry, but I have to put it with the rest of our stuff. Consider it confiscated. I'm the older one here. You can't just do this to me like that. Her speech defiantly gets worse when she gets... Definitely gets worse when she gets flustered. Okay. That means we've got 6 keys, right? Use the 6 keys on the box. After a little effort to use all the 6 keys onto the box, the group opened it. Inside of the box is a piece of paper. Unfolding it revealed a much larger diagram, containing multiple sections. Think that's related to the name we have to give? No doubt about it. Gula didn't seem all too interested by it, instead sitting on the couch and paying little attention. The 2 other girls focused and tried to understand what it meant, but the more they thought, the less it made sense. Seems like this name is in 4 parts. For the first part it says... Luck? I wonder why those underscores are there. Parentheses? The second part says plus common 4. I'm guessing the 2 of those together makes one name, since they're on the same line. As for the ones below, I have no idea. The third part says blank 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 ER, and the final one plus wheel firsts. Let's just keep it in mind, there's other stuff in this box and we can come back to the paper at any point. Ankora pulled out 2 me cards next. Avarisha took one while Gula snagged the other. Hey! Gula simply shrugged. It is, as we say, shotgunned. Perhaps it is karma or payback. It does not matter. Regardless, there is a key you are entirely free to obtain. She was right, and the box was yet another thing. It was an old ornate key, much like the one Ankora already found before. The tooth was shaped like the letter L. Now we have to give our answer. Decidedly, she wasn't too happy about having to do it. Normally, one would be eager to leave, but it is clear that due to the way this is set up, if you don't get it right, you die. So maybe she's stressed because she might have to say it, being the older figure. And here I thought she loved lording her age over the rest of us. Granted, she did say she didn't want to get treated any differently before. When you get an idea, let's gather at the door and make our exit. Alright, I'm gonna have to look at our crap, and I'm gonna have to figure out what that... I got a piece of paper. I got a pen. I've got all the time in the world. Thanks, quarantine. I guess I'll bring you back once I've figured some shit out, but I'm gonna have to look through all the hints we've got and figure something out. So with the letter K burned out. Just over linguist ingrate. Okay. So the common 4 is ILLE. That much we know. The something 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 K is most likely luck. And 4 letters then ER is probably Boiser. This one, B-O-I-S-E-R. And the wheel first is J-O-L-I. That's what I'm believing. So luck, I-L-L-E, Boiser, Jolie. But how you put it all together, what's the first name, what's the second name, I don't even know. That's the second name, Boys Jolie. So the ER is skipped. I get it. So the first one, you're skipping the K altogether. It's L-U-C-I-L-L-E. Lucille. U-C-I-L-L-E. Lucille. And the last name is Boys Jolie. B-O-I-S-J-O-L-I. Oh, Jesus, that took a lot of work. The door unlocked. Everyone released a breath. They most likely didn't realize they held before. After that, a shaky laughter came from Avarisha. Well, that's not my name. I don't care about who the terrorist is either, personally. Let's just go. She was the first one out, clutching her me card. I didn't get a me card. Ankura looked as she left, expecting Gula to take steps to go too, but she froze in place. Hey, Gula? The door's open, let's go. Ah, yes, that is correct. Very well. Gula left without adding any other words. Finally, the blonde girl followed behind them. A lot cleaner of an exit than last time, that's for sure. The group of 3 women emerged into the familiar hallway. That took like 10 minutes to work out, have to admit. There was nothing new about this place, so they all waited around, thinking the other groups would come out. After a few minutes elapsed, it was clear none of that was going to happen, just yet. They had escaped rather quickly after all. I propose we gather at the crossroads instead of this location. You can go if you want, but someone needs to stay here to tell them about it. The older woman made a dismissive motion of her hand. Gula waved and left in a little bit of a hurry to get away from the 2 others. Ankura stared, slightly puzzled at that behaviour, before turning her attention to Avarisha. She's acting really strangely. It's almost suspicious, like she figured something out and we haven't yet. Anyway, you'll stay here then? Yes. You can go too if you want. You have a me card to find, right? Just go. Ankura solemnly nodded and left Avarisha's entourage too. Her steps brought her toward the room Superbia and Tristidia shared. She had a thought of glancing inside to check up on the progress, but it was impossible. There was that metal plate over the door's window. Not only is this a search for a missing me card, it's also a search for someone to kill off somehow. It would have been so much easier to let someone else try to answer the question. Doing it first was so stupid. Instead of kicking herself over it, Ankura wandered further into the hallway. After the bend around the corner, she arrived at a dead end. On one side was a wall of plates, much like the ones that blocked half of the larger room at the bend. This is the back wall of the first hallway, the one they all emerged in from the triple classroom earlier. In the corner was a door. Above it, a sign read exit, but naturally it wouldn't work. First of all, this door was locked, but it led to a staircase that could normally access the second floor. And it has an emergency exit, but it's locked like everything else. Leaving there is impossible right now, and Cora decided to head back to the others. She hadn't found a me card in this corner, but there was one past the door. It just wasn't time to open it just yet. On the way back, making sure all the classrooms were well and truly locked, she tried the L key, to no avail. They might be mostly empty, some of them have stuff in them like me cards. They're an extra step to force people to split up while outside the rooms. And Cora almost made it back to Avarisha, but her trajectory was intercepted by Tristidia, leaving his room. Hey Cora! You guys made it out first? You work hard. Yeah, thanks. I think we just got a little lucky. Ah, well, we didn't. I don't know how to say it, so I'll just say it when we all group back together, I guess. Superbia is dead? Yes! We go to the crossroads after we've all left our rooms. Maybe you want to head there now? Avarisha closed the distance, seeing as the 2 of them had been talking without her. That's right. I'm keeping guard here so everyone knows about it, but since Cora's been looking for her me card, she's bumped into you first. Makes sense. Oh yeah, we had one extra, Cora. Here. Tristidia handed over a me card to Ankura, who pocketed it without hiding her surprise. An extra card? The Superbia's dead. Yes. Yeah. I'll meet you at the crossroads. Something's wrong. I've been having my doubts ever since he came out of the room, but there's something that's definitely wrong. Without any other words, Tristidia made his way back through the hallway, and Cora cast a glance toward the door he'd come out of. She hadn't been quick enough to look at the situation in the room. I guess it's important. I got my me card now, so yeah, go for it. I'll wait for the groups here a little longer. Bia, Vidi, and Lux still need to come out. With a wave, she saw Ankura off. The blonde girl didn't need to be told twice. Her steps took her away from the older woman almost immediately. But she didn't go all the way back. She waited close by around the corner. Something nagged at her, something really bad. Some kind of feeling when you think something is definitely amiss. She just wanted confirmation. A few minutes later, Ankura heard the door to Nvidia and Luxuria's room close. She leaned forward a little, after making sure nobody noticed she was eavesdropping. But that wasn't too bad, and honestly, I'm not surprised. It's like the answer was just there. Ankura missed the part where they see what the answer to their room was. Bia still hasn't come out of her room, but the rest are in the crossroads. Really? Bia's still in there? What about Trist? He left a while ago. He's already gone to the shotguns, if I had to guess. We do have a vote coming in, very soon. The timer in Ankura's helmet indicated the vote was in barely 10 minutes. But, well, I guess this is a worry right now. Even if maybe I shouldn't be too sad about it. What do you mean? What's sad? Look at your timer. A small pause followed, silence from everyone involved. Yes, our vote's in 10 minutes flat. Remember what me said? We only have 39 minutes to escape these rooms, right? Yeah, so? Oh no. The small girl realized it. After a moment it struck Ankura too. Superbia. She didn't come out at all, and the time is over now. She's dead. Seemed like such an abrupt end for her. Yet, even with her dead, something still bothered Ankura, somehow. You know, it's kind of weird. This means we have another hour, right? But even so, I don't feel sad or anything. Nobody feels sad about that. I don't feel anything about it. Bia was also not the nicest person, I think. Well, it's desolating at any rate, but we can't do anything about it now. We do have an additional hour, so we can spend quite a lot of time thinking about how the votes will go. If only we could also confirm that she's dead. I didn't see her come out, but she could have come out way earlier before Trist. And he wouldn't have left the room? No, I don't think so. You said you stood guard here the whole time, right? And no one came out? No one. Then she's dead. Let's go. Ankura heard footsteps coming, so she hurried away. Thankfully, her own boots weren't noisy, if she was careful, even on solid flooring. She joined up with Gula and Tristidia. The two of them had been talking, but when she arrived, the conversation ended. Judging by Gula's body language, Ankura guessed she was happy it was over. The others are coming. Alright then, I'll say what I wanted to say earlier to you two first. I've realised this a little bit ago, but we're 9 people in total here. Well, it so happens that there's a thing in psychology called the Enneagram of Personality. The Enneagram supposedly classifies everyone into a main personality type, even if everyone takes from everyone else. If we can deduce who's what, we'll have an easier time determining who to vote for. Pray tell, which personality would you proclaim you belong to? Ah, you know of it too? Slightly. In my youth, I pursued the dictionary an astounding lot, I can imagine. Well, I'd probably be the peacemaker type, which is the 9th type. The peacemaker. That's quite a stretch if you ask me. No, it's the only one that makes sense. I started categorizing us into the types and, before he could say any more, the others caught up with the 3 who had gathered for the vote. A serious sound anyway. We're 9 and all of us correspond to a type or another. Maybe this makes me the investigator, also known as the observer type then? For the next minutes, Tristidia explained what he was thinking about to the new arrivals too. After Tristidia was done, the group came together to decide on what was the next course of action. Hold up, first we have something to say that's very important. We also came to a conclusion regarding something earlier. Oh, that. She shivered apprehensively, waiting for the verdict to fall. It was clear what the subject was, even though we're not meant to know yet, but there's been some eavesdropping going on. Yeah, well, Trist, Bia didn't come out of your room, did she? That is correct, she did not come out of the room. Why is that? I don't need to explain my thinking, but I guess I can humour you. The slightly overweight boy began pacing around a little, somewhat nervously, but also strangely confident. Earlier I spoke about the Enneagram, Well, I only told you what I categorize myself under. But I'm pretty sure I'm spot on with Bia's categorization, and that's why I made sure she died. That doesn't make any sense. She was a huge bitch to everyone, but how could you do that? What's her personality type? I'm not sure I should say, but there's more to each personality type than just the name. From what I found out in the room I explored with her, there was a very good reason related to her past, trust me. Obviously the group didn't exactly know what was up with Superbia's past, or her situation in general. In fact, it hadn't seemed like anyone had really had memories of any time before they woke up. I told you what it was, you wouldn't believe me because it didn't fit. That's because when stressed, her type can grow prideful. Not only was she stressed, but if I had to guess, lording over others is nothing new to her. Remember how she treated Era? The thought of the boy had slipped from everyone's minds. At that point, Ankura looked around. The body was gone. It wasn't in the crossroads anymore. Here's a good point about Era. However, why is the body gone? It doesn't make any sense. So she was misusing her personality type. She became the corrupted version of it. My theory is that we're all more or less the corrupted version of our type, which brings us to this dilemma. If you had to pick someone to die right now, among all of us, excluding me, who would it be? I'm excluding myself from the equation because I'm the peacemaker, of course. The group looked at each other for a few moments. It didn't seem like anyone wanted to speak. Perhaps it was the fear of publicly outing someone that was preventing them. I'd pick you because you just killed someone. Perhaps it was also because they were debating if they wanted to call out the horse on his dishonesty. The one who broke the silence was Avarisha. I'd probably vote for Lux. Luxuria took her hands up, surprised, almost backing away from that accusation. What? Why? Why me? A feeling, I guess. We have to pick someone, and I'd probably go on that feeling right now. Of course, my mind can change on it. But I didn't do anything. Maybe that's why she has that feeling. Either way, I asked because no matter what you'd pick, you'd be right. We're all here to die. But me said only 6 of us would die. That's correct. That means we already lost 3 members, so we have to kill 3 more. Which personality types are the most dangerous when corrupted, you think? You killed someone. You! Ankura had to admit that she didn't know much about the enneagram of personality beyond just the names. She hadn't gotten to study those things yet. Meanwhile, Tristidia seems to have done a lot of research on the internet. All we have to do is get rid of that trio of most dangerous ones. Oh my god. A revolver was aimed at the others out of nowhere. It was then the danger of the situation truly dawned on everyone. Okay, we're gonna wrap this one up here because we're out of time for today. I know, cliffhanger and all that. We're gonna pick this up right from here next time and see what's gonna happen. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out with me, and I'll see you in the next one.